Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Checklist on a Wednesday, the show where we talk about our personal gaming experiences. Just don't be surprised if it gets weird. Speaking of surprises, and weirdness actually, our latest obsession Elden Ring is absolutely stuffed with them. From brutal encounters to packs of walls dropping out of the sky, this game is constantly, and literally, dropping things on us that we would never know to expect. It's got us thinking, what other games have done things that have taken us completely by surprise? Let's take a look after we've got our unavoidable Elden Ring appreciation out the way. Hey Rob?
So, a time a game did something that I did not expect happened 2 days ago when I was playing Elden Ring.
Oh, cool.
I played it on stream with Ash and Rosie, and we found some very cool things. We found a castle with we ran past the ballista,
yes,
the barrister, the lethal barrister. We ran past that, and we found, just out of nowhere, just a massive, giant statue man with flaming ankles firing a huge bow and arrow at us. And I think it was that moment where I was like, okay, this is cool. So I went home that night and I booted up my game and I just went for a little explore. And I found a man called Kenneth. I went through the forest, very dangerous forest with huge bears in it. I was like, oh, this is very cool. Still just sort of enjoying exploring the world. And I just reached this place there's like a minor erd tree, I think they're called, and I picked up the crystal tear from underneath it. I was like, oh yes, I know what I can do with that. And then right next to it was it just looked like a fairly nondescript circular stone structure with an elevator with a pressure pad. And so I stepped on it and it started going down. I was like, oh yeah, I know the deal here. And it just kept on going down. And it kept on going down. I was like, this is taking a long time. Like, where is this taking me? To a boss? I hope it's not a boss. And it just kept on going down. And then all you can see are like the walls, like the brick walls, and they slowly start to change color as if light is coming through them. And then holes start to appear in the brick walls, and you get glimpses of this. You can't tell what it is, but you can see there's an area beyond this wall, and it's been going down now. It felt like it was going down for a good minute, like constantly moving down, and then it just sort of opens out into this ridiculous subterranean. It's like another world. It's like a whole other world underneath the main world of Elden Ring, and you don't get that. I didn't know that was there. That was no one's talked about this. This is like one of those moments in Elden Ring. It's very good at this. You really feel the joy of discovery. So it doesn't put question marks on your map. So everything you find, you feel like you've discovered it. And discovering what felt like an entire new world, it's a feeling I hadn't had for a very long time in a video game, like a real sort of thrill. And the music's all really eerie and scary down there. But I can't wait to go back in there and discover how far it goes, because you look up and there's like castle ramparts and bits of architecture stretching for what seems like miles, and you look in the sky and there's like what should be the underground, and it's like this starry vista above you. And you're like, what is this place? Is this another dimension? Where am I? And I had absolutely no idea that Elden Ring was hiding that. What feels like, you've got this huge open world above ground, and that's what I was prepared for, and I was prepared to find cool things there. I was not prepared to go underneath it and discover what felt like an entire other world existing at the same time. It was just great. Very cool. Elden Ring's good, isn't it?
It's alright.
I really like my little thing that surprised me, because it's not anything big or dramatic or anything like you can have, for example, in Elden Ring finding a gorgeous underground cave. It was something really subtle, and it completely caught me off guard, so I'll never forget that first moment where I found it. And I will say as well, these are spoilers for the ending of Cuphead. So if you don't want to hear what this little tale is, then please save your ears and your eyes. But
Screw you three. You can listen.
So in Cuphead, obviously the final boss is the devil. You know, Cuphead and Mugman, they've been collecting contracts after they made a deal with the devil, trying to save their own souls and stuff like that. But at the end of the game, when you go to the final boss level, the devil asks you, he says, okay, right, give me those souls now. You've defeated King Dice, well done. Now give me those souls like we agreed to. That was the deal. And when you get to this point, you have a prompt of either yes or no. And when I first played Cuphead, of course I said, no, I'm not giving you these souls, devil. I'm going to fight you because, you know, I didn't want to click the other option and potentially ruin my save. I didn't know what was going to happen if I just gave the devil everything. I just thought, no, I'm going to fight you, devil, bring it on. So we took on the devil, defeated him, and it was all great. But of course, when you've got that prompt, you have to have another little look. You have to click the other option and see what will happen. So I was expecting, a part of me was thinking, oh, come on, it's Cuphead. They're just gonna make me fight the devil. Maybe it's a bit of a tougher boss. Maybe no matter what I pick, the devil's going to fight me. But he doesn't. The devil is just like, oh, we're gonna have one hell of a time together. And first of all, you see Cuphead and Mugman in these demonic forms, like, you know, rather than Cuphead being the little red shorts and everything, he's now got purple and they've got these crazy eyes and they're like...
Purple shorts is the sign, never mind.
That's the sign, you know, it's all gone crazy. So their design's completely changed. The credits roll and then the music's different and the music's a lot shorter as well. So whereas in the normal one, like the credit music goes throughout the whole sequence, it's just, you have it at the beginning and then it's just silence. Well, it's not silence, but you know, it's like like a gramophone record sort of going like that when the needle's still on the disc thing. But the thing that surprised me with this whole sequence was that I went through the credits and I thought, oh, okay, that was really, really cool. And it took me back, you know, to the game development logo and I thought, right, okay, now I've seen what the other ending's like, let's start packing the game up. And as I think I literally just stood up to get the television remote and then the Cuphead title came up. And it was backwards. And this completely surprised because I'm so used to, you know, booting up the game and it's like, well, Cuphead and his pal Mugman and all that stuff. But this time I just booted it up and then it just was like, you know, backwards.
That was really good backwards.
Yeah.
We need to reverse what you just did and hear what it sounds like forwards.
I have no idea what.
It's just happened. It's just happened in the video.
Yeah, do it now. But then to just have like the visuals of the Cuphead and, you know, they're just doing their little swaying things, hands on hips, but the music was backwards, that just caught me completely off guard. And I was just like, I was just like, well done. I had a little round of applause. I was so pleasantly surprised. I was like, you know, they didn't have to, they could have just been like, you know, the normal theme tune and then you could just go into your save and then carry on doing everything else on pacifist and expert mode and all that stuff. But they just had to do the tiny little touch of, oh no, don't forget you sold your soul to the devil. And it was just so, it caught me off guard. It was great. And well done, Cuphead. I love you. And well done for catching me off guard even when I sold my soul to the devil for the sake of a trophy and to see what the ending was like.
A game that did something I totally didn't expect, even when I knew to expect it, because I had the little glimmer of knowledge that it was a psychological horror game, despite its cute twee outsides, is Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Now, I've spoken about this once before on the channel in our Shocking Moments That Shook Us to Our Core video, if you want to hear more about it, but just as a heads up, this is going to have like a bit of a trigger warning, because I'm going to talk about a character that dies by suicide. So there's a warning for that, and a spoiler warning for the game as well, because there's lots of intense topics and lots of horrible horror moments, but I just think it's done really, really well and quite sensitively considering the really intense subject matter. So, Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, which is this cute, beautiful, like anime-styled, like dating sim where you're picking which girls you want to go out with, you're making poetry together, you're at school, hey girls, it's me, I'm here. You can put your own name in, so they're all calling me Ash, and I was like, yes, I'm here, ladies. Let's all go on dates. And then it gets to a point where you've got all these clues that something isn't quite right. Your best friend Sayori is opening up about having mental health issues, and eventually is found dead in a room and has died by suicide. And then the game breaks. And I knew to expect something because I knew that this was a horror game. And I knew that it was going to like transform the kind of the perception of the game from this like really cute thing to this really dark thing. But the way that it did it like really surprised me and I thought was super, super effective. So the kind of crux of the game is Monica, who is the head of the poetry club and has been talking to you the whole time and sharing her poetry, and being very calm, cool and collected is actually just like insane, and has been manipulating the game through like this fourth wall breaking, absolutely intense like manipulation of the whole system itself to make you fall in love with her by getting in characters' heads and making them hurt themselves or like, you know, kill themselves. And when the game breaks and starts glitching and starts getting like these photorealistic inserts for eyes and faces and starts being really creepy and strange, Yuri gets absolutely the worst like dose of it because she turns into this obsessive creepy weirdo who just like wants to like be all over you and be with you all the time and show you her poetry and just is very intense. And again, you expect it to get weird, but like she comes up to you and has this little poem that she's written that's covered in like blood and other weird stains, and she's like, "I've endowed this with my scent, it's for you." So you're like, "Oh, thanks, Yuri." Lovely. And her like storyline comes to a climax when you're talking to her in the middle of a classroom and she gets out a kitchen knife and just goes at herself, but basically stabs herself in the stomach. And the game then makes you stay with the body for the whole weekend, which like, again, every time you think you've hit a point of it being like, I didn't realize the game was going to do this, it's like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was going to do this. So you're there literally for 3 days with the broken game script coming up in the place of actual like conversation, and it just keeps going and going and going, and you slowly see like the sun setting, the sun rising, you see Yuri's body start to change, so she gets paler, like her eyes get darker, Dave's face is looking horrified. But yeah, it is an intense game, and like as much as I say that it does kind of deal with it sensitively, as in it explores mental health topics in like a more vivid way. I don't think it's like, you know, it's something to play if you struggle with any of that at all, because it's a lot. But I didn't expect to enjoy the game that much and for it to take as many twists and turns as it did, especially Yuri's storyline, where I was sat there literally for like 15 minutes pressing my button going, please, please, please. But yeah.
I'm not going to talk about Outer Wilds or What Remains of Edith Finch, because although those games fit this bill entirely, in their entirety, you should play them. They are just complete, unexpected treasure troves of joy. I wanted to speak about a specific moment, and I'm afraid, as such, we're going back to Bloodborne. Oh yeah.
What do you mean you're afraid? We always talk about
We've not
Bloodborne in a
spoken
joyous
about
way.
Bloodborne's for so long.
I know, it's all Elden Ring now, but before Elden Ring, there was Bloodborne, and some other games besides. And I mean, to begin with, Bloodborne just was very unexpected to me because I liked it. I'd never played a From Software game before, and I've told the story before about stealing Nate's copy for a day and just being completely blown away. And Bloodborne was completely unexpected in that way to me, that I liked it. And not even that I liked it so much, I became completely obsessed with it. But it's not just Bloodborne. I wanted to go deeper and pick a specific moment, and there are loads of unexpectedly amazing moments in Bloodborne, but there was one thing one reveal that like just blew me away, and it's when the lesser amygdalas are revealed. And basically there's a place outside in the cathedral ward, outside the lamp. You come out of the little church area, turn left, there's like a little courtyard area. And the first time I got here, it's very early in the game, and you know, there are these new enemies with like these big lanterns, and they're quite massive and a bit scary. And I would always be kind of scared around there and pick them off quite carefully. And there was this one area of that place where if you stood, this kind of vortex would open, and I was like, I don't know what that is, and I would roll away and you know, not be killed. Obviously, and then many hours later, as I played the game, and there are two ways that this can happen. For me, it was that I entered the sort of blood moon stage of the game, which I think is you have to go to a certain place
I don't know.
It's when you end ROM, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I killed Rom. End Rom.
When you
yeah.
end Rom.
Killed Rom, and I think you get transported somewhere, and eventually, anyway, you end up back into the cathedral ward, and suddenly can see that the buildings have these giant creatures on them, which are lesser amygdalas, and obviously this was like mind-blowing to me in the first place anyway, because it was like, oh my god, there are these huge giant creatures now in the world. What are they doing? They're so weird. But then the first time I walked towards one, it did this kind of portal vortex thing at me, and I realised that they were there the whole time. It was just that I couldn't see them, and that to me is mind-blowing. It wasn't the game like saying you defeated Rom and now we've spawned in these creatures. It was proof that like they were actually always there. I just couldn't see them, and my character had achieved. I think the other way you can get there is by earning like I think 40 insight or something. And I just thought the fact that they were always there, and that was proven to me by the fact that I was getting attacked by them even though I couldn't see them and didn't know what they were and wouldn't find out for hours and hours and hours and hours, was just amazing and just completely unexpected. And I think that just sort of in a little tiny way sums up the genius of Bloodborne, that in other games they might have had a similar idea, like you get to this level and then you see these giant creatures, but wouldn't have made them always be there and just invisible to you. It's just so incredible, and I love Bloodborne. It's good, isn't it?
I'm glad it's back. I'm glad we're talking about it.
It's good,
again.
isn't it?
We love Bloodborne. Did you miss me? Well, I'm back. So if you didn't miss me, I'm afraid I'm here for an intro.
What's this energy? Wow.
I wasn't expecting that, Rosie.
I'm gonna
5 times Rosie did things we didn't expect.
Yeah, oh my god, I got 5.
5 is not enough.
5 today.
Well, when we do things when the second person comes in, so far everyone's tried to think of another way to come back in. So I was like, did you miss me? I think it came out more aggressive than I hoped for it to. I think I was hoping for it to be more like, did you miss me? But it did. It was like, did you miss me? Either way, though, I'm back.
Well, I'm back. All right.
Oh my god, I'm just going to carry on with it. But yeah, so I'm here with another entry, and I decided to kind of approach this title from a different angle for my second sort of chatty story. And another moment which really surprised me in gaming was when I found Sly Cooper 3 in the store on PS2.
A game?
A game
in a shop?
In a shop. Now let me tell you why. So you might be thinking, oh god, how does this relate to this title at all? But it was because when I was a kid, I had a demo disc, a PS2 demo disc for Sly Raccoon, the first game. But when I was a kid, I just really enjoyed playing the demos and listening to the demo music and then just seeing what demos were on the thing. I didn't always look at the titles. I remembered a couple of them. I remembered Eco, Airblade, Dog's Life. There were some titles I just knew. But Sly Raccoon, I think we had it on a demo disc. And I don't know what happened to it, but I swear I could never find it again. And I was always reminded of this really awesome game where you were a raccoon in a blue outfit and they could like sneak around in barrels. So for years as a child, I was always looking out for a game where you were some kind of raccoon. And I was trying to tell some friends about it at school and none of them knew what I was on about. So I kind of hit a point where I was like, that was a game, right? You were a raccoon in blue running around in barrels or sneaking around. And then, years later, just casually went into a HMV and suddenly just on the shelf, Sly Cooper 3. And the reason it was so surprising is because A, there was Sly on the cover, the blue raccoon who I was looking for years, who I wanted to play the game for years. He was there on the cover. 2, it was number 3. So I somehow went Sly Raccoon, which was the first game. I missed 2, didn't hear anything about that as a kid. And then boom, suddenly Sly Cooper 3. And I was like, oh my God, where are the other ones?
This secret franchise that no one spoke about.
Well, that's
I find it
when you're
bewildering that Rosie, who loves in particular games like that, platformy.
It was mad. I mean, I guess just, whenever we got the PlayStation magazine, it was a real treat or something because, you got the demo disc and stuff like that. And so it was a real treat when we got the magazine. So I'm guessing the issues that we had just were the ones that didn't involve Sly Raccoon and Sly Cooper 1, 2, and then 3. So the pure joy I had when I saw it, I think it was near my birthday as well. So I didn't even think twice. I mean, it was like, Dad, can I have this game please for my birthday? And yeah, just absolutely brilliant, completely surprised me. And then when Sly Cooper 4 came out, I told all my friends who don't know video games, I was like, we have to go into this shop on this very specific day and you're coming with me because I can't take the bus by myself and we're going to go buy the game.
And then you might have found another secret item in the shop that wasn't Sly Cooper 4,
my
but
God.
a new one.
Oh, no, I found Sly Cooper 4, but I was surprised that you had, like, you know, you could also get it on Vita. That was the next surprise. And then, you know, my friends went shopping for other things and then we had a really nice day out. But the purpose of my trip for going out was for Sly Cooper 4.
Great memories.
Anyway, I've gone on for way too long. That's my fun little twist on the title.
We've got a work Slack channel,
Horrible
and
little
people keep
clause in.
joining. People keep
I
joining.
haven't been invited to the Elden Ring.
Everyone was invited. It was put out in the general Slack. This is very inside baseball now, but like it was in the general chat. It was right there.
Not that I've seen.
Well, it was there. It's there. You're welcome to join. It's a welcoming community.
It's an open channel, Rob. You
It's
can
very
just,
open.
You could look.
You could just find it.
If you want a specific invite,
Well, how would
we
I
can
have
give it
known?
you.
How would I have known
It was in the
there?
Elden.
No
it
one's
was
told
in the
me it's
general
there.
It was. Well, how do you think we found it?
I don't know.
Well-
You've all been invited, haven't you? I guess.
We've got a secret Slack, which is everyone in the entire team apart from you, and that's where we talk about you mostly. I've said too much.
It's called Elden Ring as well.
Yeah, it's called Elden Ring.
I can confirm that Rob has found the Elden Ring work chat and hasn't said a word about it since. Anyway, what games have completely surprised you? Let us know in the comments below. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and hit that notification bell so that you stay up to date with the world of PlayStation. Thank you all so much for watching.
PlayStation